Hey family! Okay, I'm excited to tell you about our quarterly consistency challenge that we have going on. So I wanted to put something in place for you to help you track your consistency with your business, because one of the big things we have going against us as business owners is that we are our own boss. And sometimes we make excellent bosses and sometimes we do not, because it's really easy to allow ourselves to be off the hook when we just don't feel like doing something because there's really not a consequence in place like there would be if we didn't show up for a job we were employed for. If you're an employee for someone and you don't feel like showing up and you just don't, you're usually not going to have a job for much longer. And so when you own your own business, we have a little bit more flexibility, which is amazing when life happens and there's situations that unfold that we need to be able to be present for. We have that ability to make that shift, make that adjustment, and be flexible if we need to. But because of that, it really puts that kind of makes it a little bit more difficult to hold ourselves accountable. And so I wanted to create some kind of promotion that was going to allow you to hold yourself accountable to your business. So the best way, the main way that you can be accountable in this business is that Mary Kay was super brilliant when she put together our culture, our environment, our business plan, because she put these weekly learn and earns in place, these meetings for us to be able to come together every week and have that support system in place, but not just the support system in the community, but a place for us to actually work our business, so that we had it scheduled in every week where we could work and we can earn and learn at the same time. Brilliant. But not just so that we can multitask, but because it gave us accountability. Like when we are showing up for our businesses, then we're going to see the results that we're looking for. And so she wanted us to have a place where we could just constantly be consistent and be plugged in and have that support system around us so that we could be accountable to that, and be accountable to our goals, whatever our goals are. We all have our own different goals that we're going after, but the beautiful thing about our weekly events is that we are surrounded by all of our sisters who have similar goals, who have had similar obstacles that week or similar circumstances or things that they're going through, and you have that support, you have that sisterhood. That's where your best friends are made. So me growing up in my business, since I've been doing my business since I was 18. And so I've kind of done it through all seasons of life now, whether I was a student or I was working or I was single, married, no kids. I've just kind of worked my business throughout. But the thing that has been the hugest blessing, and I really feel like contributes to my success, like if I were to give someone, like there's so many tips for success that I can give, but the main one, which you guys know I'm kind of a broken record with this, but is being plugged in every week, because that, no matter what I had going on in my life, that gave me stability in my business, because it kept me motivated, it kept me excited, it kept me informed, and it gave me a place to learn and earn at the same time. And so I feel like every person who is at the top of this company, everyone who makes a 6-figure income, everyone who's in a pink Cadillac, everyone who is wherever you want to be in this business is going to tell you that being plugged in every week is like critical to your goals, because this business is easy to do, but it's easy not to do because no one is making you. And so if you are committed to being consistent and you don't let yourself off the hook, if you don't feel like it, if weather is maybe not favorable or whatever it is that could keep you from plugging in that week, if you don't allow those things to get in the way. I know for myself, when I was working at my corporate job before I left to do this full time, I remember making this deal with myself that I was not going to miss my meeting unless it was something that I would miss work for. Like if I was that sick that I would call in sick to work, or obviously if there was a funeral or a crisis or anything like that that would cause me to actually take off work from like my corporate executive job that I had before doing Mary Kay full time. And so that was really how I looked at this, because this is a business for me. Like this business, if you take it seriously, it will seriously reward you. And so I knew that this was my family's future even before I had like a family. I knew that this was going to provide the freedom that I wanted, the income that I wanted. And so now, like, the life that I have is because I made myself be consistent and be accountable to my goals and to my weekly success event every single week. And so I know that it's easy with so many things going on, especially when you have little ones like I have at home. I know what that's like and how easy it is for so many things to be on our plate. But my family knows that like my meeting night is my meeting night. Like it is never a, are you going this week? Like it was just everyone, my friends, my family, everyone just knew that that is where I am. Like our meetings here in Omaha right now are on Tuesday nights. And so they just know Tuesday nights, Whitney's at our meeting. That's just where you could find me. And so that's been a consistent thing that I've had in place because I knew that I needed to have that. I needed to work this like a business in order for it to pay me like a business. And so everything starts with that, being plugged in every week, being around the support system. It's kind of like working out at the gym, which I love and hate that example because I'm really not a huge gym person. I go through my seasons, but I know that the times where I'm really serious about my workout plan or whatever, season I am in a life, that whatever is going on, if I'm, when we went to the Bahamas, we earned our trip to the Bahamas, like the months leading up to that, I was serious about my workout plan. But I found that when I was plugging in every week and I was going to my classes, I had a specific workout classes that I loved that I did every week. And so when I was doing that consistently, it was just kind of part of my regimen. Like my family knew like, oh, Monday, like I was actually going like Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays was when the class was. And so that's a lot for me to go to the gym because that is not a consistent thing in my life. But if I was getting paid to be at the gym, then that would be a different story, but I am not. So, but my family just kind of knew like that was when Whitney was going to her class. Like I was just going. And then after we got back from the Bahamas and the motivation wasn't quite there, after you've reached the goal and you haven't been there for a while, so the consistency is kind of died down a little bit. It's like harder to get back going again after you've been out of it. And it's the same with our meetings. Like if you go every week, like you just know that you're going every week. Like that's just habit. It's just part of your life. That is just in your routine. But if you get away from it, it is harder to get back going and making that a routine again. And so just being consistently plugged in, not letting yourself off the hook is going to make a dramatic difference for you. So if you were to say like, okay, Whitney, I want to make a 6-figure income too. I want to drive a pink Cadillac. I want to, work for myself full time, be home with my family, take vacations whenever I want to, not have to organize my life around PTO. Like if you were to say you want to have that lifestyle, I would tell you, if you trust me and you listen to me and do what I tell you to do, you absolutely can have that. And the number one thing that I would tell you is do not miss a weekly event, because that is where the money's at. Not just physically because you can make money there by bringing guests, but because everything that you need out of your business, the education, the support, the ideas, the sisterhood, like that is all going to come from those weekly meetings. So the consistency program we have in place runs on like a 3-month like increment. And so when you attend your meeting every single week in that 3-month increment, there's going to be a really awesome prize that you can get. So if you are local, obviously you're going to get your prize from me at the meeting. If you are not local, you are still participating in this. You're just having your adopted director at the meeting you go to, whatever director is there. Doesn't have to be the same director. If there's multiple directors at your meeting, just a director signs off on your sheet every week when you're there. And so you have a tracking sheet like this. And you are able to, now you're not planning on, but you're able to miss up to 2 weeks if like absolutely necessary, like just unfortunate circumstances. Like I was saying, like you would call in sick to your regular job. If you're still working at a 9-to-5, like you would miss work, you would miss a meeting, whatever, for this reason, like it's a, unfortunate circumstance kind of thing, then you have like a little bit of flexibility there, but do not plan on missing 2 weeks every 3 months. Like because you're handicapping yourself. When you don't plug into your weekly meeting, you are handicapping yourself. Like, you are going to have a less productive week that week because you're not there, because you didn't have that energy. Like, it fuels you and ignites you for that whole week. And so if you miss it, that's like 2 weeks of, being out of that environment, and that just can totally kill your momentum. So do not miss if you don't absolutely have to, but you do have those 2 in there for, circumstances. So, so if you attend every week for those 3 months, now obviously if the director is not holding the meeting that week because of like a holiday or, whatever, then that is not on you. That does not count as you missing. And so it's just the weeks that it's being held. Then for our local consultants that attend my personal meetings, we also have another prize that you get for, we do like a drawing for every, when you attend meeting, you get a ticket for the drawing, like an entry, and every guest that you bring with you, you get an entry. So you have that is also in place. So most of you are familiar with that. You get a prize, go in the prize drawing for every quarter. That's separate from this consistency prize, because everyone who completes this actually gets the prize. It's not a drawing, you actually get it. So use this as a tool. It will serve you. If you have questions or you need help with anything, please reach out. I'm happy to do that. If you are not plugged into a meeting currently, if you do not live locally and you need to get plugged in, let me know, and I'm happy to figure that out for you. We are going to start doing like a live Facebook group for our Tuesday night meetings for those of you that are not local. If you are local, you are not allowed in the group because you need to come to the meeting. But if you are not local and you need to, you just want to have it as a tool in addition to the meeting you're already attending locally, it does not count for you to be attending that and not going to your local meeting. But the recordings and the trainings will be available so that you have that in addition to whatever you're doing locally. Okay, there you go.